What's up guys? Welcome to the bonus room. Today we're going to be reviewing a pirate-themed board game called Jamaica. Jamaica is a game in which 2 to 6 players race against each other around an island, while along the way trying to grab as much gold and treasure as they can. The game has dice rolling, hidden card selection, and some light combat between players. Let's take a closer look. So I am a big fan of this game's box, more specifically the plastic insert inside the box. It is so nice when a board game has a well-designed insert, and this one is no exception. Every component has a place, they fit perfectly, and it keeps the game organized and easy to set up, so big kudos to the box. Jamaica has some top-notch production. The board is bright and colorful. The custom dice feel great, the card quality is good, there's a lot of detail in the art, but the layout for the board and the cards are very clean and easy to understand. I mean, when you get it set up and going, it really is a stellar looking game. One thing I didn't care for was the rulebook. Now, don't get me wrong, it is well written and the rules are very clear, but they went with this sort of fold-out treasure map style, and though it does fit the pirate theme, it makes it very cumbersome when you do need to pull it out and look something up. It's a minor complaint, but I would have preferred a more conventional layout to the rulebook. All players start the game in Port Royal. Once a player does a complete circuit of the map, crossing back over to Port Royal, the game is over. The object of the game is to have the most points when the game ends. Points come from 3 sources: gold in your ship's hold, treasure cards, and where your ship is on the board when the game finishes. The person with the compass is the captain for the current turn and rolls the 2 action dice. They then choose the order in which to place them in the navigation box on the board. The first die represents the morning action, and the second die represents the evening action. After the dice have been placed, all players simultaneously select a card from their hand and place it face down. Then, starting with the captain, players reveal the card they selected and complete both the morning and then the evening actions on the card. Once all actions have been accounted for, each player draws a card, and then the compass is passed to the left, designating a new captain for the next turn. As an example, if I had selected this card on my turn, I would first load 4 food resources into one of my ship's holds. Then, I would move my ship forward 1 space. Because the space I landed on cost 2 food to stay there, I would then pay that cost to the bank, and my turn would be complete. Most spaces on the game board have a cost in either gold or food. Once landing on a space, you must pay the cost of that space to stay there. If you can't afford it, you must pay all of the resources you can towards the cost and then move back to the first space that you can afford. It should be noted that each time you load resources into your hold, they can never be combined with existing resources, and instead must be placed in an empty space in your hold. If you have no empty holds on your ship, you must empty one to make room, but you are not allowed to empty the same type as what you are loading, so be careful. Hold management is a very important part of the game. Some spaces on the game board, known as pirate lairs, have no cost to stay there and also contain a treasure token. The first pirate to land on the space removes the token from the game board and draws a treasure card. These cards can be treasure that adds points to your score, cursed treasure that deducts points, and some can give you special powers like an extra hold for your ship, or the ability to have 4 cards in your hand instead of 3. And finally, let's talk about combat. If a player lands on a space occupied by another player, combat begins. The player who moved is the attacker, and the player that was already there is the defender. The attacker prepares to roll the combat die, but first may decide to use any gunpowder they have to add to the roll, 1 for every gunpowder. The number of gunpowder tokens spent, if any, are added to the results of the die roll to give the final combat strength. The defender then performs the same actions, and the combat strength of each player is compared. The player with the highest combat strength wins the battle. If there is a tie, nothing happens. If a player is lucky enough to roll the star, that player immediately wins the combat. The winning player may do one of 3 things. They can steal the contents of one of their opponent's holds, steal a treasure, or give a cursed treasure to their opponent. I've probably played Jamaica about a dozen times and I've always enjoyed it. The game has gone over well with everyone I played with. In my experience, the 45-minute playtime is about right, and of course will vary depending on the number of players you have. But even with new players, the game is extremely easy to teach and it doesn't take long at all to get the hang of. I like that because the card actions in the game don't take that long to perform, and because everybody gets to pick and play a card during a game round, it never feels like you're constantly waiting to be able to do something. I mean, the only time you really wait is when the captain is deciding on how to order the dice. And even then, it adds a little tension to the game, especially if you've got a particular card in your hand that you really want to play, but you need those dice in a specific order. The combat between players is light and quick, and even though you can hedge your bets by adding gunpowder, at the end of the day, sometimes you're just rolling dice, and that's okay. I've never felt like losing a battle here or there has ever really put me out of the game, and it can really come down to the wire sometimes. Overall, I highly recommend this game. It's easy to learn, it can be played in less than an hour, and it makes for a very pretty game when you get it to the table. It's an all-around, well-designed and well-produced game, and one that I know I'll be hanging on to for a very long time. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment below if there's a game that you would like to see reviewed in the future.